Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. Come sit. Listen as I tell you a tale. And remember, kids, don't beat these people.
When in June the halls of Millbrook are clear, and the thought of freedom brings all cheer, IB students meet with Barron all prepared to possibly hold their diploma, very much scared. There are 4 students with sorrow in their heart, for they did not listen to their counterpart. So, with their extended essay incomplete and blank, they take a pilgrimage to the office to beg and walk the plank. Of Millbrook down to Mr. Barron they wend, with their own stories to share to the end. To seek Barron's holy offering to only one hand, the beloved IB diploma to take to the Holy Land.
It happened in that day that one morning I lay ready to hear Baron scorning.
One by one they entered to give their say. The rooms and the seats of the office were wide. It made them uneasy. All was pride. And briefly, when lunch had come around, I'd spoken to them all upon the trip, and was soon one with them in fellowship.
Somewhat empathetic to their own tale, but nonetheless, while I have time and space, before my story takes a further pace, it is necessary and urgent to say what their condition was with great dismay, each of them as it appeared to me.
According to their tale in gossipy tea.
Each had their own personal reasons, as you may, as to why they went far astray, and at the pathological liar I therefore will begin.
There was a student, a troubled lady, who from the first day was seen as shady, did not know what the meaning of truth was, for her world was filled of lies such as Santa Claus. She had lied her way through the diploma program, so everyone knew her success was a big old scam. But it was hard not to take pity on the young lad, for she grew up in a world with a deadbeat dad. Her lips moved fast and quick as she spoke, never letting her words stray or come to a croak. She had always done well when debating with others, for she had to build strength living with only brothers. This was not her first travel to see Baron and Plea, for her grades showed her character to be carefree. She wanted to someday travel the world and tell stories, and by having the diploma, it would alleviate her worries. Speaking of desires, she wanted to endure change, but her old habits led her to continue acting deranged. So, with relief in her chest that this would be her last time, she headed down to Barron, ready to lie, for it was showtime.
It's done.
Now it's time to hear about the perfectionist. I think we all know a few of these kinds of people. Anyway, let's get into it.
She crossed every T and dotted every I, yet somehow our next student's plans went so awry. A straight A student bound to Princeton and Yale had not the slightest idea of what it meant to fail. She completed every assignment 2 weeks in advance. If she ever met a procrastinator, she'd shake her head in askance. The perfectionist let it be known to every IB student she balanced academics and social, ever so prudent. Oftentimes, people would wonder, how does she do it? Piano, gardening, and Latin tutoring, if the clock permit. So, when the almighty Baron bestowed the extended essay paper, our perfectionist was confident that time would not taper. She spent hours upon hours brainstorming the perfect topic. Are the molecules within perchlorate allotropic? Surely her research paper would be the finest of them all, and allocated her time wisely, setting aside each nightfall. Little did she know that a short year later she'd be begging for her diploma from the divine dictator. Not even God could foresee such an unlikely occurrence. The perfectionist was doomed, all of IB in concurrence.
Alright, now that the break's over, let's get back to the tale. On to the hippie, fighting the world one capitalist at a time. Somehow I was able to pull her away from the protest.
The next story is of a student who did not value the date that was due. Without a soul care for her schoolwork, she spoke her mind with a smile or a smirk. TOK debates were the one reason she had done IB rather than treason. What is the consequence of being late if you crush your peers in a president debate? The rubric left no room for her satire, leaving her motivation looking dire. With better things to spend her energy, the EE was not in her memory. When the time came to submit her essay, she realized her mindset had led her astray. If she wanted to be the president, IB should be in her resume content. So off to Barron's office the girl trudged, hoping her story would be fairly judged. The peace and love she had been fighting for seemed minuscule as she walked in the door.
This next student is for all the student athletes out there. Hashtag grinding.
The next story is a breeze from a lacrosse stick brushing against her knees. She doesn't pay much attention in class. The only thing she cares about is having too much sass. The grind will never stop as she causes players to drop. She never does the work, but she steps on the field with a smirk. It's game time now. It's time to win. Her signature move is a three-way spin. It's all very well to have courage and skill, but a single game is worth the thrill. She takes the field ready for the game, sticks in hand as she looks at how far she's came. She plays to the best of her ability in order to impress everyone with her skills and agility. The end of the year is near, yet she has no fear. She's a student athlete, but her extended essay will not be her defeat.
So after a lot of consideration and asking myself who best exemplified the IB standards and really tried their best in completing the essay, as well as rooted for Clemson this weekend. Just kidding, just kidding. I have come to the conclusion that the student who is getting the IB diploma is
This will not, N-O-T, happen. H-A-P-P-E-N. You will do your extended essay, E-X-T-E-N-D-E-D, space, E-S-S-A-Y, exclamation.
Far astray. And at the pathological
Wait, can we start? You hear the cry?
Shit, you can hear the
That's good enough.
anger. Keep going. No, keep going.
Wait,
No.
so okay, that's so awesome.
2, 1.
Oh no, I'm way too early. How I feel in history.
That was it?
Yeah, only
Okay.
for one line.
Hey,
Yikes.